In this episode of the Race to Slightly Better Than Average, we have some highs
We've done it.
and some lows. Stay tuned. Hi everyone, welcome back to That Tom Bloke Racing, and yes, I'm wearing my Newcastle United top today because unless you've been living under a rock for the last week, you'll have noticed we won our first trophy in 56 years. It was amazing. What a day, what a couple of days watching it all afterwards. But anyway, back to the episode. Thank you so much if you've been watching the series so far. I hope I've got some people following along now, or even better, joining in. We're now on episode 5, and this one will be specifically focused on Gran Turismo 7. We're going to tick off the March challenges, or at least try to. So let's have a reminder of what they are now. The first one, the one we've all been waiting for. Participate in your first daily online race and finish in the top 50%. Then tune your car and set competitive lap times on 3 circuits. And the March goal is to set a lap time within 10% of the world record on a selected track. So like I say, I've been itching to get into the online races. For the record, I never play games online. I'm one of those people, I tend to buy solo games and I just try to beat them, ideally 100%ing them, like God of War, the Star Wars Jedi series, and so on. So this would be the first time I've played anything online properly anyway. I've also seen so many people complain about the first sort of few leagues in sport mode. They're just full of people who ram you off the road and you have to really sort of be patient to move up the levels. That's the sort of thing that's normally going to frustrate me, so I guess we'll see how we manage it. Either way, we don't need to spend any more time filling around trying to get the right assists anymore. We've done that over the last few episodes, experimenting, and we know what we're using now. So it's all about the racing. And in fact, that's a good time for me to ask you to click the subscribe button if you're enjoying this and want to join in. For the second challenge, the tune your car and set competitive lap times, I sort of feel like we've done that to death a bit, so I think I'm going to skip that one, which just leaves the March goal of set a lap time within 10% of the world record on a selected track. If you've been watching from the beginning, you'll know that that's our ultimate goal, or at least to get into the top 10% of drivers in the world. So I think that's going to be especially difficult. So I'll do what I've done, pick a track at random using the race roulette. Then I'll need to see what cars are setting the best laps and then just give it a go, I guess. I will be over the moon if I get that done today, or at least in this session. So that's it. Let's crack on. Let's get online racing finally. All right then, here we go. Participate in your first daily online race and finish in the top 50%. I do not know what I'm doing here, so bear with me. Let's just follow the path and see what happens. I know I'm a few years behind everyone else probably in going online. But let's have a go. Like I say, you can see I've got some records at the top. I've done 6 races with my mate. But anyway, let's just get in, see what it requires of me. Kyoto, next race, is that in 15 minutes or at 3 o'clock? Does that mean 3 o'clock? Right, let's go. Lance Evo. Okay, I do have that car. Entry deadline in 10 minutes, that means. Because I'm such a noob here, I bought a load of upgrades for the car and spent some time tuning it, which of course was totally pointless given that the race had a BOP limit. I'm not totally sure, therefore, if any of the upgrades make any difference, but figured maybe some decent brakes or a spoiler or even the weight reduction might help, so I did them anyway, and I got plenty of credits to spend, so why not? I also had a bit of a look around the menus just to see what everything was about. Realised I could set some quali type laps, and I figured they'd double up as practice anyway, so seemed like a good idea given that I didn't know this car or this track particularly well. Okay, that was just setting some laps, and I qualified in 11th. First ever online race, 10 laps of that circuit. I don't know if there's any pit stops and stuff, but anyway, this is it. This is a new experience. In theory, we've got to come in the top 50%. So there's 12 drivers who come in the top 6. Let's do this. I'm looking forward to this. I'm a bit nervous as well, but I am looking forward to it. Oh, it's 3 wide into there. It's going to be fun. Oh, I'm off. I feel like that's going to give me a penalty. Getting this Spaniard slipstream here. He's trying to defend. Keep it tight on the inside and take it, yeah. Oh, he's nuzzed me. Could have been a genuine accident, I guess. So I pretty quickly realised there's a big difference between racing the AI and racing real people. So I'll just have to get used to that. As bad as the AI is, there's at least a bit of predictability with it. As I said there, I figured I must be able to tune the car or something. The other cars were pulling away really fast. We ended up having a bit of a scrap with our Spanish friend here. He was being reasonably defensive, to be fair.
Oh, he does like a hit, doesn't he?
It's not like he was actively trying to ruin my race.
Alright, come on, man.
A couple of nudges here and there, but overall, reasonably fair racing, I think I'd call it. Okay, halfway through, 10th position. 10.5 seconds off the lead. Okay, that is the end of our first ever online race. We were 9th, which is crap. 19.5 seconds off the lead. Our Spanish friend did try and ram us off a couple of times, which I wasn't crazy about, but apart from that, it was clean enough. I think I need to go, well, I don't know whether that's my skill or the car just needs to be tuned up. I mean, I literally got it a few minutes before we started there and just threw some basic mods on. And I think we come back, we try again. Okay, so that wasn't hugely successful, but I went and bought some parts. I don't know if it matters because of this BOP thing that's in place. I just thought I wanted to dive in and have another race, to be honest. So let's go. We qualified in 8th this time. We were 12th? No, 11th last time. Is our Spanish friend in there who knocked us off last time? No, he is not. Okay. So after we didn't do great in the first race, even though we qualified better for the next one, it also didn't go so well right from the off here. Oh, got tapped from behind. Oh, come on. That's not cool. That is not cool. I was doing alright there. So after that disaster, we were comfortably last, and by quite a long way. When this happens, I just get back into practice mode. There's no point in quitting. I might as well get some free practice in. And you never know, something might happen to other drivers that means I can get a place or two back. In fact, on the next lap, I come around the corner and spot 2 cars who have clearly gone off. So at least we've got some kind of race going on, even if it's the race to not be last. Like he's driving drunk. Anyway, I cracked on, I put a few tidy laps in, but the race was over before it really began. We crossed the line in 7th out of 8 remaining drivers, so we go again. Yeah, there's 10 drivers, so 5th and above, which is where we're starting. Whoa, sorry mate. Right, absolutely terrible start there. I thought he was going to ghost. Attempt number 3 didn't go much better, to be honest. Entirely my fault this time. I stacked it on lap 1, so we basically had exactly the same situation as the last attempt. similar story. Stacked it on the first lap. This time that was my fault. Pulled it back to 6th. Gotta go again. I was actually thinking of finishing for the day here. I'd been in the seat now for about 6 hours. My concentration was going. I was missing my marks on the warm-up laps, but thought I'd just give it one more go. I was having quite a lot of fun. Right, much better first corner. So this is the 4th attempt, and we finally got off to a decent start after improving our qualifying to 4th place as well. We actually ran a decent race this time. Wasn't completely incident free. This guy had his own way of getting past. Spanish man again. How do they drive in Spain? Okay, halfway through, 9 seconds off the lead. That's quite a lot. But remember, that guy had did his quali lap a whole second ahead of us. By lap 8 we were chasing down 2nd place, so I knew I just had to get my head down and concentrate, hit my apexes. Okay, we're about to start the final lap. We've been catching up. I think that's the Dutch flag, isn't it? I won't try and read the name while I'm driving. The leader has just shot off into the distance, so we're not catching him. Let's see if I can put some pressure on this driver. We got close, but we didn't quite get him or her. So there we have it. We have technically ticked off our challenge of finishing the top 50%. And we took 4 attempts, I think it was. Yeah, fine, we're nearly 14 seconds off that top guy. Guy or girl, but he or she was very fast, so that was a tough one, but I really liked how I was catching up with that 2nd place. But yeah, really cool. I might just drive around for a bit, but then we'll move on to the next bit. See you in a minute. Okay, let's challenge ourselves a bit here. We're going to do the Group 4 Race B track. The best Group 4 I've got is the Viper. Brands Hatch I know pretty well, so let's see what happens here. This is really pushing ourselves though now. So I realised we could technically tick off the challenge of finishing an online race in the top 50%, but I just wondered how much harder Race B would be and whether we could slightly revise the challenge, make it so that we finish in the top 50% of all the daily races. I knew races B and C would be harder, but I thought it was worth a stab. Okay, did a few laps going around there, qualied in the middle. I'm expecting to get fully embarrassed here and realise that this isn't my place yet. Let's just race, see what happens. We managed to qualify in the middle of the pack. I think it was 8th, and headed to the race. And then we avoided a crash on lap 1. Luckily these guys seemed to take each other out, which helped us. Oh, come on. Oh, I think I might have come out of that lucky. Then I had a drag race with the Lambo, eventually had taken him here on the hairpin.
Oh, John Wick's gone wide. This is going to help.
We got one place back with someone going wide on turn 1, but a couple of corners we lost our place to the Lamborghini again.
Guy in the Lambo, I don't know what flag that is, SET. He's got some skill, but he's a bit wild at the same time, so I'm conscious that I might get knocked out of the way by him, and not necessarily deliberately. Looks like he plays one of the rally games, mostly.
And this was turning into a really good battle with him or her, but ultimately it went the way I was half expecting. Now that I've seen this footage back, it was mostly my fault. I ended up following him into the gravel and hitting him, and that's never going to turn out well. As much as it's easier when you're following a car, it does also make it easier for you to follow them off the track if they're going wide. So we came back on in 9th, did the usual switch to practice mode to finish the race, didn't even see any other cars for the rest, so that's where we finished 9th.
Okay, finished that one in P9. To be honest, given that wipeout, I'm surprised we weren't last at all. So, as Kratos would say, we go again. So you know what? We're going to try that again. I didn't think in a million years that today, the first ever day of going online, I would be doing anything other than the complete new beginner race. But that last one, despite stacking it, gave me a fair bit of confidence. So if there's 15 cars, we need to finish in the top 7 again.
So I know it's only my second attempt here, but I have to admit I was starting to feel a bit less like an imposter. Figured out that maybe I am on an equal with these drivers here.
Got a good race with Riggs. I don't even know what flag that is actually.
This race was a lot less eventful than the last one in terms of accidents, which obviously I prefer. Gave me a chance to test my actual racing ability against other drivers. Riggs and I were back and forth for several laps, which was cool. Turning into lap 4, and we're still comfortably in this fight for 2nd and 3rd.
Taken out by him then.
Even grabbing 4th by holding tight to the inside on this corner.
Nice move, gave me the room to be fair. Aldo's got an interesting way of driving. Can I get another position?
And into the final lap here, we're in 4th, which is amazing. Maybe I belong here a bit more than I thought. I'm really enjoying it for sure.
But that is not the point. We are fourth. We're fourth. I mean, that's well in the top 50. Pretty pleased with that. 3.5 seconds off the lead. That's really cool. Might even try daily race C. It's playing with the big boys, it feels like, but why not? Let's have a go. See you there. I thought I'd have one more go at this because I'm having such a good time. But to be fair, my concentration is definitely going. I just did some warm-up laps and I was way off, making idiot mistakes. To be fair, I've been sitting here now for 6 hours, I think. If you ever need an advert for this chair, it's still super comfortable. But yeah, my brain's not as in gear as it could be. So I'm going to do this one last one for fun, not put any pressure on myself, and then we will call it a day from there. See how we get on. Well, I'm not sure what happened to Jan there, but our Portuguese friend and I are now fighting for the lead, technically.
So although we had done our challenge by now, I was having so much fun with this. I did have another couple of races. There was one before this, but I was awful. I was racing nicely in around 4th, trying to fight for 3rd, but then I made a series of stupid errors, ended up way back in something like 12th.
Got himself a penalty, I think. Yes, he does.
So this, what you're watching now, was my last attempt of the day.
Try and get close to him to get past him. Well, he's ghosted during the penalty and not afterwards.
We had this great race with the Portuguese driver, really taking it down to the wire.
No, doesn't look like it. But we finished 2nd. That's awesome. Considering I nearly didn't do that race because I was feeling tired. Less than a second, we finished 2nd in daily race B. So in one day, in what, 10, 8, 9, 10 races or something, I've come 2nd in a daily race B. And as tempting as it is to go and do daily race C, it's time to quit for the day, get a break, and I might look at daily race C tomorrow, which, like I say, for me, even this, I feel like I'm up in the league above where I should be, thinking on football terms. But anyway, that's cool. Happy with that. I will see you later. Thanks for joining me. So you know what? I've been having such a good time. It was yesterday with daily races A and B. I thought let's go and try daily race C. It's a group 3 race, which means I can race my favourite, my R8. I would consider our challenge absolutely smashed if we finish in the top half of all 3 daily races. So I'm going to give it a go, or I'm going to have a lot of fun trying it. So let's see what happens. So I'm just going to get out there. I know the track pretty well. You might notice I've taken one of the assists off now. I've taken off the brake zone. I realised when I was doing the quali, I was not only not using it, I was actively ignoring it and using markers on the track anyway. So it's the right thing to do. Didn't affect my time at all. Clears up the screen a bit. Anyway, let's go racing. Generally feel like I'm out of my league, but I am enjoying it. Let's see how we get on. That was close. We made a position already. Now, if we're going to be doing our challenge, there's 16 drivers. We can finish in the top 8. It's an 11 lap race, 1 mandatory pit stop. Getting a nudge here from Tedisco. I don't appreciate. Oh, broke later than him, but possibly too late. Oh, that is seriously not cool. That is not cool. That was very much his fault there. Clearly. So, revert to practice mode. Right, I've been just driving for practice. I managed to catch up with a couple of the guys at the back of the field here, who are within 3 seconds of Corbin. So yeah, we were taken out on turn 3 of the first lap, which left us comfortably last, which felt a bit too familiar to the previous race, race B. And as I said, there's no point in quitting. We just use this for some free race practice, maybe get lucky somewhere in the next 11 laps. We managed to catch up with a couple of the cars on lap 3. This is one of my favourite things about racing here, seeing a car in the distance and hunting them down. I'm a big Lewis Hamilton fan, and I always remember the races a few years ago when he was something like 20 seconds behind with 20 laps to go. I think one of the races in Hungary always comes to mind, but I used to love watching him do that. So I kind of had that in my head here. Applying the pressure, try and dive bomb him, but we'll see. I was getting closer and closer, eventually going for the move here, but then this happened. Oh, you So that was probably it, lap 6, and I'd spun off for a second time, which definitely felt like race over now, but I ploughed through to the end, didn't even get close to the next car, and finished last. Okay, absolute disaster. Well, I'm going to say 99% disaster. I got taken out on lap 1, I took myself out a couple of laps later. I got a 3-second penalty for crossing the pit line by 1/1000th of a human hair's width. But I noticed at the end I had caught up with the next position by something like 7 or 8 seconds. And when we were having that race before I took myself out, I was having a good race and I was catching the other guys. So I'm not too disheartened. First time round, I think we go again and we see if we do any better. Alright, check this out. Improved our quali time. I'm now second on the grid. I've just noticed Tedisco is there in 6th. The guy, I need to check the footage back, but I feel like the guy that took me out in the last race, guy or girl of course. So yeah, starting second there, that's pretty cool. Let's just hope I can keep it together, finish the race, finish in the top 6 and we meet our challenge. Let's do this. I took a few more quali laps before the second attempt and put in quite a nice 1:29.852. To my surprise, that meant I started this race in second. That definitely gave me some confidence in my ability, so now I just had to see if that translated to the race. I didn't get the best start, lost a couple of places on turn 1. And then look at this, I'm coming up behind Tedisco into turn 3, lap 1, an exact reversal of the last race. And yeah, before you ask, I was very tempted, but I resisted. I prefer proper racing. I did manage to take him properly, and then he even tried to switch back, so it was good old-fashioned racing here. Okay, that was tense. It was a pretty good first lap all round. I was keeping up with the front of the pack, starting to feel even more like I'm not so much out of my league as I thought. Unfortunately, I've proved myself completely wrong a couple of laps later and I found myself like this, which, if you don't already know, is not the best line to take. Oh man, that was a really good race until then. Okay, we're on to this final lap here. Obviously very disappointing. Currently 8th. But let's not forget there was one point where I was sitting in the middle of the track, facing the wrong way, watching every single car go past me. So actually, if you look at it like that, there's some success in there. So I think if we can get a race done without spinning, I think we've got a good chance of hitting our challenge, you know.
On the plus side, I didn't mess up again, had a good rest of the race, brought it home in 8th.
There we go. 8th, which means we have to go again. I am having fun though, but we've got to go again. Okay, we're back again for the 3rd attempt. Still got that good quality time, so we're in 2nd. We're behind the same guy as last time. Let's hope this one goes better.
Right, like I said at the end of that last attempt, I think if we can have a clean race, I don't see why I can't finish in the top half. Secretly, I sort of had my mind maybe on a podium as well, but we'll see.
Sorry mate, my bad.
And this was a brilliant race from start to finish. I didn't even want to cut anything from the footage, to be honest. We had a much better turn 1 than last time, although a less good turn 3. We kept the position though through turn 4 after drag racing along the straight at the top, and then I settled into the race from here. Jumping forward to the start of lap 3, and the race was definitely on now. The driver at the front had taken off, but there was a group of us racing for the next few positions. We managed to get a good move, if a little fortunate too, through turn 4. That corner was always a good one for me, as was the rest of the middle sector.
That nudge actually helped me there.
We've been driving pretty well so far, no spins, and I had gradually closed the gap to the car in front while also increasing the gap to the car behind. A couple of cars had pitted, so this German driver, Crystal Rain, and I led for a lap, and I could just tell they were overtakeable, which might be a new word, so I just needed to keep my discipline and drive well.
We're in the lead. We got into the lead. Wow, that was good fun racing with Crystal Rain there. He or she kept making mistakes, and I wasn't quite taking advantage of it until we got onto that left turn there. Everyone pitting, apart from Shaky Blade. So let's just keep our cool and finish this off now. Might be able to get Paul Poker here. Defending me nicely. Just try to switch back on him. Oof. That looked like he tried to swipe me there. Oh, of course. I feel like Crystal better get a penalty for that. Nope. Yep. Ooh, that was close. It's giving Crystal time to catch me up again. Go for the switchback. Right, 2 laps to go. Dax is way out. Fandango. I can see him, he's 2 seconds. See what we can do in 2 laps while keeping Crystal behind us.
So like I say, this was such a good race. No craziness, just good driving from everyone. This was the final lap here, trying to catch Fandango, but Crystal Rain was really keeping the pressure on behind me too. But we held on, crossed the line in 3rd.
Ooh. Well, we finished 3rd. Less than a second behind 2nd. That was really cool. I knew it. I knew if we could finish a race, we could finish in the top half. I did secretly wonder whether there was a podium position in there if I could do it. And I've done it. I'm well chuffed with that. Really cool. Really good race. I don't know how much of the race you'll see when I edit it, but maybe all of it. That was so cool. We've done it. We have finished in the top 50% of an online race. Not only that, we finished in the top 50% of all 3 daily races this week. So it's really cool. Not only that, but it's opened up the game completely for me. Like I said, never played online until yesterday. Now I imagine it's the only way I'll play. It's too cool. Really chuffed with that. Let's move on. Right then, this March goal set a lap time within 10% of the world record on a selected track. I thought I could pick any track and give it a go, but I don't. If I go to time trials, I don't see any other rankings. I don't know how to find the world record time on there. If you know, can you leave me a comment and then maybe I'll try again. But for now, I just came to the online time trials. We've got 2 options available. I'm not taking a go-kart around, so it looks like we've got to try Eiger Nordvond, not one of my favourite tracks, in the Lancer, not one of my favourite cars, but it's all here. The world record is a 1:16.605, which means the 10% target is a 1:21.811. I've never done one of these before. I have no idea how close we might be. We might be able to do this today. It might take weeks. I've no idea. So I'm going to jump in the car, see how we get on. Let's take a look. Okay, so I did just throw a lap down, which I didn't record. We did a 1:22.320. The target is a 1:21.811. So maybe this isn't going to be too difficult. But I do really hate this course. I mean, I love the look of it, but it's got some nasty little corners. And this car isn't the easiest. I always prefer the faster cars, to be honest. I mean, this is already bad, but let's see. So that wasn't a pretty lap. 1:21.811. Oh, we're 0.2 off the target. Okay, we can improve on that. Okay, that one we smashed, but it was also invalid. It would appear as if we've done that in 4 laps. Is that right? Let me have a look. 120.5. The top 8.25%. That's unexpected. So I thought that might take like weeks to do. I'm pretty chuffed with that. This has been a good session. But I might just look and see what the top 5% is and just see what that's like. The top 5% is a 118.092, which would be 2.5, almost exactly 2.5 seconds faster than I've done. Oh, that's pushing it, but I'm going to give it a go for a bit of fun. Well, we're going to beat that by 2 seconds. Okay, we took another 0.6 off there. Another 0.9 off the set next lap, 0.8. So we're within 0.6 of the record, the 5% record. Ooh, another 4 and a bit tenths off at 118.1. Oh, we're less than 0.2 off.
I decided to do what I'd been meaning to do for a few laps here and turned off that great big red braking area assist. I realised I wasn't even using it anymore. In fact, in the daily race we did in Austria, I found that I was braking like 50 meters later than the area suggested and making a lot more lap time. So I don't need it anymore. As soon as I did that on here, this lap happened.
Okay, we might be onto something here. Hey, we've done it! So 15 laps. I just did a 1:17.951. The 5% record was a 1:18.092. So we're half a tenth. No, a bit more than that. A tenth and a bit, actually, faster. That's amazing. I thought that was going to take weeks. I don't know how much higher I can get in terms of closer to the world record speed. So a 1:17.951, top 4.81%. That is completely crazy. Maybe I'm not too bad at this game, you know. Oh wow, I'm really chuffed with that. Maybe if you're joining on and you're doing this as well, maybe we're slightly better than average now. We're in the top 5% technically. Not a nice course, not a nice car combo, but it's a good test of skill. And I'm over the moon with that. So let's move on. Let's move on. Actually, I got a bit overexcited there. There is nothing to move on to. This is the end of the episode. I think we can safely say it's been a successful episode. We've done our first daily online race, finished in the top 50%, if not better than that in all three of them. Then we managed to set the lap time actually within 5% of the world record in a weekly time trial, and I'm super happy about it. We've leveled up our skills over the first few episodes. Now it's really starting to take effect. I appreciate these probably aren't the most exciting races on YouTube at the moment, but I hope you can get a sense of what we're doing here, the improvement we've made since the start of the series. It should start to get fun from here on, so I would love it now if you subscribe to the channel. It would really help me out. Click the like thumb too so other people see it. Otherwise, that is all. Thank you so much for joining me again. I will see you next time. Take it easy.